Good morning, students. Today it is the time to discuss the poem Postcard from Kashmir by Aga Shahid Ali, prescribed for your studies. Full of profound emotions and sentiments, the poem entitled Postcard from Kashmir is composed by an Indian born poet, Aga Shahid Ali. Aga Shahid Ali, after his education in Kashmir, migrated to the United States. Though he was a Kashmiri Muslim, he established himself as an American poet. The poem is a reminiscence of the glorious childhood in Kashmir known as Paradise on Earth. The author receives a postcard from his native land that brings him back to the times when Kashmir was a peaceful territory. It makes him emotional as he was far away from his home, and the memories of home fading due to the passage of time. The postcard comes from his home, and the word home transfers the imagination of the poet to that distant land. He tries his level best to recollect and recreate the enchantments and aroma of the land in his imagination. It is the sense of nostalgia that a person who is far off has to deal with. His desires for home, which he has left behind, is strong enough that everything around him seems charmless. He is deeply engrossed with the part of his existence which is beyond his reach. Physically, he is in some other place, but mentally and emotionally, he is at home. In the opening two lines of the poem, the poet points out that the postcard contains the pictures of the past of Kashmir, a particular place he still considers his home. As he writes, Kashmir shrinks into my mailbox, my home, a neat 4 by 6 inches. Metaphorically, Kashmir physically becomes the postcard in his mailbox. He recognizes peacefully but painfully that Kashmir is no longer his home. The imagery he uses in the poem expresses that his home rendered insubstantial by time and memory. He believes that the postcard is his home and writes, and this is the closet I will ever be at home. The idea is very much clear in the poem as the poet expresses his frustration because the house he describes can never be corporeal. The poet then mentioned that he always loved neatness, a trait that emphasizes the irony that he can now hold the half-inch Himalayas in my hand. The huge mountain range has been reduced in a tiny picture. One of the most impressive aspects of his homeland has been shrunken, as he says that his home is now 4 by 6 inches. The internal conflict of the poet is expressed as he looks at the postcard of Kashmir, which now exists only in his memory. He is aware of the fact that his imagination of Kashmir is much beyond the reality. He knows that his long displacement has made his memory a little out of focus. As he writes, "When I return, the colors won't be so brilliant." But he still tries to hold on to the reminiscence and the recent blotches of contamination cannot affect Kashmir's great heritage. In the closing part of the poem, the poet suggests that his memory of Kashmir is unravel, and Kashmir itself may be like a giant negative, black and white, still undeveloped. The poet, an exile from Kashmir, experiences three tribulations: the repentance of having left his home, the denial of feeling like an outsider, and the struggle of coming to terms with the change that would have unavoidably taken place in his absence. Through this poem, the poet tries to focus on the sentiments of the people of Kashmir who migrated due to the dispute. Nostalgia for the motherland is the central theme, and the poet seeking the quest for identity. Thank you very much.